Good day everybody, logical connectors are our topic for today. What are logical connectors? Logical connectors are used to join or connect two ideas within a particular relationship. Logical connectors are words or phrases which are used to join or connect two ideas which have a relationship in a sentence. Example: I prefer bread to biscuits. Bread is less sweeter and keeps me full for a lengthier period. Here, the sentence does not have a logical connector. I prefer bread to biscuits because bread is less sweeter and keeps me full for a lengthier period. Because in the sentence serves as a logical connector. It is joining these two related ideas. Types of logical connectors. We have additional signals. As the name suggests, these types of logical connectors add information. These indicate to the reader that you are going to add information to the previous point or continue on the same topic by providing further points. Examples are first of all, for one thing, secondly, also, next, in addition, moreover, furthermore, and so on. Example: the source of information is irrelevant. The information need not be confidential. This sentence has no logical connection. The source of information is irrelevant. Moreover, the information need not be confidential. See, moreover here is serving to add information on the previous idea. It is adding in that these sentences are related together, and hence the writer feels as if there is need to improve the idea by adding more information, and hence it does not just add information, it has to add information in a logical manner, and hence usage of an additional signal as a type of a logical connector. We move on to number 2, time signals. These indicate the order in which a series of events or stages in its process occur, or can be used to indicate that you are providing supporting points in a particular order. Examples are firstly, secondly, then, next, finally, for a start, and so on. Example: firstly, I would like to thank everybody who contributed to the success of this event. This denotes that the writer, in a sequence of events, he or she is going to start by thanking everyone, and hence, firstly here serves as our time signal under logical connectors. Finally, all logical proofs are tried to remain behind. From my shoe rack, my favorite is my black All-Star. Secondly is the white one. We move on to change of direction signal. This indicates to the reader that you are introducing an opposing or alternative point. Examples are but, however, on the other hand, conversely, on the contrary, no, alternatively, and so on. Bayern Munich had better ball position in the UEFA Champions League game yesterday. However, Real Madrid emerged victorious. In the sentence, you can see that suddenly we were talking about Bayern Munich, we're in Germany, and the next thing, we are in Spain. So, however, serves to tell us that we are no longer following the path of Germany, of Bayern Munich. We are now going to take another path, which is Spain, which is Real Madrid. So, however, here goes to show us that the writer has changed his ideas, or is changing the direction of his argument, or of his story, or of his writing. Mercedes-Benz's massive torque and makes it to 120 km an hour in just a few seconds. On the other hand, Volkswagen's ESG gearbox has a magnificent sound when the car turns smooth. Here you can see that from talking about a Mercedes-Benz, now we are touching on an aspect of the Volkswagen. Here, on the other hand, serves to change the direction of the writer's ideas. It goes to show that the writer has changed his way of telling us the sequence of events. One can travel by bus from one to Johannesburg, or alternatively by a minibus. Here, alternatively also serves the same purpose, but we can identify here that alternatively is not at the beginning of a sentence. It is rather in between the sentences. Logical connectors are not only at the beginning of sentences, they may be between sentences, but for as long as they join ideas, they still retain their purpose. Illustration signals indicate that the writer is going to provide an example or illustration. Examples are for instance, for example, and such as. These serve to tell you that the writer is illustrating. He has talked about a certain aspect, but then now He is going to illustrate on that aspect. Past events such as apartheid and the colonization of South Africa, like Jan van Riebeeck, are still popular today. Such as here is giving illustration on past events. What past events are we talking about? Apartheid. Hence, such as serves to illustrate more on past events. The writer is giving either information on past events or is giving examples, rather, of past events. Some techniques help improve one's academic performance. For example, reading while not taking and attending lectures. Constant, if not always. We need to rethink our way of using natural resources. For instance, trees. Perhaps one is wondering why, for instance, and for example, are used differently. Well, generally, for instance is used in speech. It's not really used mostly in writing. This does not then go to say that, for instance, is wrong to be used in writing. For instance and for example can be used interchangeably. The meaning ultimately is the same. But what I'm going to give to you is, do not be monotonous in your writing. Do not constantly use for example as if for instance does not exist. If you're going to be illustrating a lot in your writing, make use of all these three. Make use of for example and for instance interchangeably so that your work is not boring. We go to conclusion signal. As their name suggests, please conclude. This indicates that the writer is going to conclude the paragraph on a particular topic he or she is dealing with, or in some cases may include a relationship of cause and effect between ideas. Examples are therefore, consequently, thus, as a resulting conclusion, to conclude, last of all, finally, and so on. Examples here are, he passed his law present and consequently graduated for his honors degree. Musi was driving at 170 kilometers per hour. Thus, they arrived earlier than expected. To conclude, one can say that logical connectors serve a great role in writing. Our last category of logical connectors is cause and effect. These tend to express a cause and effect relationship between two or more ideas. Examples are because, as, since, in as much as, and so on. Examples here are, he fastened his safety belt so that in the case of an accident, he is safe. There was no water today due to repairs to pipes. He defaulted taking his ARV treatment and last passed away. In our last sentence, what is the effect? The effect is the said passing away. What is the cause? Default in taking treatment. Borussia Dortmund was not victorious against Monaco, resulting from Robert Lewandowski's injury. What is the cause? Lewandowski's injury. What is the result? Team not being victorious in the game. We go on to importance of logical connectors. They better the understanding of the reader. Unlike ungrammatical errors, the misuse of a connector can impede understanding. They enhance cohesiveness of a text. They maintain a text as being coherent. There is flow of information. The wrong use of a connector can have implications on the author's reasoning skills. Other fundamentals. Do not use contractions in writing. Guys, desist from using the things that we use on our Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, like don't, can't, shouldn't, couldn't. Write in full as could not, should not, will not, do not. This is formal writing. In South Africa, typically we use British English, not the US English. We usually substitute or do not use the Z or Z in our writing. In, for example, a word like legalize, Legalize is American, Legalise is British, is the correct English that we use in South Africa. Do not write as you speak. As you can see, moving on from here. Usually, you say this, you don't write this. How can someone see that moving on from here? It is not necessary for you to write that. Avoid this in writing and avoid the first person narrative at all costs. This is from using I, our, we, and so forth. These are first person narrative signals. Instead, make use of the third person narrative. Why? This is because in writing they are expected to be objective. The reader themselves also has to have their feelings, their ideas, their judgments after reading a text. So if you use things like I, our, already, you are driving away from objectiveness, but going towards subjectiveness, which should not be human rights. Thank you guys for your time. My name is Menelisi.